first match, and I was just dominated. Like the domination that the Eliminators were giving up on the Lafu Kabi was just too much to handle for me. I had to stop halfway because it was kind of a little bit embarrassing to watch as the way they were dominating the battlefield. It was a little too much to handle. What do you think about that?
Well, I completely agree with you. There was absolute domination coming from the side of ET. I extremely loved, how that Grog invaded the jungle. He kept on
Exactly.
literally irritating that Lancelot. Oh my god, what an utter absolute domination. So, anyways, moving on to the bands. What do you think, Sebastian? Will we see the same standard bands or will there be some respect bands incoming?
I think personally here there are gonna be some changes here because looking at that, the both the teams here they're very versatile in picks, as we have seen in the previous matches that they have played. They are very versatile, and I think they can play almost every hero in every lane that they can dominate. So here, upcoming here, even though the Thamus has been, the Hylos has been not really picked right now with the new meta. Lafu Kabi has decided to ban Hylos because the Eliminators can definitely cook up some magic here with the Hylos as well. And trying to nerf up on Lafu Kabi, the Eliminators have banned out Vixana and the Edith as well. What do you think about that, Asuya?
Well, absolutely. Edit is a must ban unless, there is a Lolita open or because Edit only has mostly two counters. One can be that Lolita, as I mentioned before, and the other is complete CC coming from mages like Aurora. So, yeah, a very,
Exactly.
very monstrous pick, especially towards the late game. And an absolute ban worthy pick there. At the same time, we see a Phobius and a Hayabusa ban also incoming. Well, makes sense, don't you think so? Especially that Phobius, the monster he is.
Exactly. I agree with you exactly. And the Eliminators have once proven again why the Hayabusa is a must ban, especially on a really high ranked up game like this right now. Look at that. The total domination that he can bring onto the jungle lane is proven to be a little too strong, in fact. So that is going to be a good ban coming in from Eliminators because they're going to be able to pick up a new jungler as well while also leaving Lafu Kabi into a limited set of heroes to pick.
Well, I
And coming up with
absolutely.
that, coming up with that, look at that. The Eliminators have picked the Ling, the hero that is probably the most picked for a hyper. And I think probably the most high risk and high reward hero that ML has probably ever created in the entire game. What do you think about it?
Yes, absolutely. That Ling is a, absolute menace, especially to the backliners like the mage or
Hmm.
the marksman when he is picked up. Because, the Lahukabi now, maybe they need to pick up that Kufra or that Minsitar to counter that Ling. Or they even need, some heroes which can lock on to that Ling because
I agree.
absolute domination could be seen coming from him otherwise. So at the same time, we see at Harlot and the Grok has been picked. Oh my god, Sebastian, I am telling you, I have watched Lafukabi so many times in so many tournaments, and Grok is one of the best picks out there. Don't you think so?
I agree with you as well. They can really do some like really heavy damage, especially if they play the heroes that they are very much comfortable with. So I can tell that Lafu Kabi here are probably coming in for a comeback, and I really want to see that comeback that we are being promised with because this is once again the finals. So it is going to be a pretty huge like there's going to be so much stress on both the teams right here because if they lose in the draft, they are going to lose the entire game as well.
Well, at the same time, we see a Ruby has been traded off. She is such a good pick right here because she can catch those mobile assassins. Like, just look at Lafukabi. They have picked up that Fanny. Oh my god, that Brandon, that lighting on that Fanny. Oh, she is such a brilliant pick. But at the same time, I think that Ruby will be able to lock her down for quite some times. So I think it is a pretty good trade off between the two EXP laners. Don't you think so, Sebastian?
I agree with you exactly. And looking at that, I think Lafu Kabi are going in with the previous draft of what the Eliminators did, because they're going in with the Arlott and the Grok pick just as the Eliminators had done before. And as you've said before, Lafu Kabi, they learn from their mistakes and their adjustments are really good as well. So looking at that, I think maybe in this round the Eliminators can be into a big trouble. So we are just yet to experience that right now.
At the same time, I see a Valentina pick right there. She is such a good pick
Mhm,
here. She can copy that Arlot's ultimate. Even Grok's wild charge can be copied, and she could be a
mhm.
turning point in the entire gangs. Don't you think so?
I agree with you as well because Valentina is the probably the counter pick for almost every hero. I personally say that because of her stun and the whenever there's a hero that is higher level than her, she just takes away the EXP as well and takes it on her own, and just she just grows back into the meta again. So I think this is going to be a wonderful pick, as you've said before, coming in from Eliminators.
But just look at that, Eliminators, they have banned up that Aurora, they have banned up that Vexana, two of the deadliest mages in this meta. At the same
Hmm.
time, I see a Terizla ban happening. Well, that is to be expected, but I didn't think that they would go for a Khalid there. Why do you think that Khalid has been banned here, Sebastian?
Khalid, he's probably his burst, I'd say, especially with the assassin build that they've recently given him. I think that is definitely what is going to be the very most troublesome coming in from Eliminators because again, once again, their EXP lane or their roam is very, very strong. And coming in, I think I wanted to see one player from the Eliminators, the one who played the Kufra. Kimmy, yeah, the player's name was Kimmy. I really wanted to see that his Kufra again. Sadly, I don't think we will be experiencing that. I think maybe some of y'all will remember, especially watching the Eliminators, they really absolutely dominated against ABM and with the Kufra as well. So coming in with Zozo, the Lunox pick, what do you think about her?
I think like Lunox could be a game changer right here because I think she will most probably going to the gold lane or we don't know, maybe they will go to the mid lane. It can be anything of the two, but Lunox is such a good mage at this point. She can just escape with her brilliance ultimate, not to mention the chaos assault draining down all that HP. And especially if you have the tanky picks, just look at the eliminators. They have the Jawhead, they have the Lapu Lapu, they have that Ruby, and Lunos can be such a good damage dealer to these tanky heroes. Don't you think so, Sebastian?
I agree with you as well. Her with the Divine Glaive, her chaos power is going to be a little too much to handle, especially if they do not have that counter pick to go. And I think we are going to see Cyrus in the goal lane with Ruby, because I think Lapu Lapu is going to be such a wonderful hero here, going in for the Arlet because he has that CC immune from his ultimate, and it also has 3 phases, so his CC immune is quite long, I'd say. So, what do you think about that?
Well, I completely agree with you. At the same time, I haven't seen Lapu Lapu being picked in many of the tournaments, but we all know that how OP he can be, especially with that lifesteal coming from his skills. He can sustain a lot. So I think, he is one of those heroes who needs that stun lock for some time to be taken down completely. But at the same time, we see Alice, she, after the buff she recently received, she has gone up in rank, she has gone up in pick rate, like she is absolutely dominating the gold lane. So I am not sure that will this, Alice be going to the gold lane or will she be the mid laner here? What do you think, Sebastian?
I think this is very versatile picks coming in from Lafu Kabi, but I think so. The Lunox will be going into the gold lane because I think maybe Alice won't really have that much damage in the early game to sustain out against the Ruby. So the light of dawn coming in from Lunox is going to be helping her sustain all that life steal and all that damage, which will be proven quite useless if the Ruby is definitely farmed in the gold lane. And with that, we are in the loading screen, and the buffs are being taken in. Welcome everyone to the Land of Dawn. We are going in on the second round of the best of 7 matches. So Asuya, what do you think about this?
Well, Sebastian, if you ask me, Lycan is pretty good on that Fanny. It's one of his signature picks, so I can, expect a snowball incoming from that Fanny. At the same time, we see that Grok and the Lunox trying to invade that buff, but and like I mentioned, that Alice has gone to the gold lane while Lunox has been picked up for the mid lane, and that little contesting going on for the little wanderer there.
They're going in really strong. Lafu Kabi learning from their mistakes on the first round. They're going in with the Grok to try and lower up the Ling's farm because then again in the level 4 he's going to be outshining Fanny on the damage unless Lycan, as we've said before, he's really good, so he's definitely going to be able to outspeed the Ling as well. But look at that, I think maybe Lapu is trying to get... No, there's no match, and I think he's gonna recall here. He's kind of provoking the Lafu Kabi a little bit here. Look at that.
If you ask me, I really love both the drafts from this match. At the same time, we see that Fanny trying to go in. Just look at that Ling recalling on her face. Oh my god. Like, both the drafts are pretty good at this point. We cannot say that who will win or what will happen. So, ladies and gentlemen, we just need to wait and see as the turtle spawns. I think there will be a small fight in the top lane, Sebastian.
Oh, there's definitely going to be a fight because look at that. Lunox has gone in with the Valentina to make sure that they get that level 4 for Lapu, and look at that. He's going to be, as I've said before, he needed that level 4 to really dish out that damage and prevent the Lafu Kabi from going into the turtle. And look at that. I think Mina is going down, and yes, she does go down, and the first blood goes to Serar. Wonderful.
Sebastian, just we saw that Fanny wasn't there when the turtle was up, and ET has such a good rotation. We saw that even in the previous game, and I think that Jawhead will try to pop up that buff from her, but no, he just retreats. But I see that Grok in a bad position, and Fanny also trying to enter, and his ultimate, Mina's ultimate, just missing onto 3 people right there. Oh my god. Sebastian, please take it up.
I think here the first turtle was probably not taken because even then again it's really low in the early game. But look at that, I think Art is in trouble, but no, he'll be able to escape barely, and Crisis is going in and rotating in the mid lane to get Zozo, I think, and will they be able to get it? And the bid from Eliminators does take down once again, and look at that, I think Brendan is in trouble, and he does go down to Serar Moon. Wonderful rotations coming in from ultimates. Wonderful.
Well, I really love how ET is rotating and how they are ganking all together, because at the same time I do not understand, because I have seen Lafu Kabi playing pretty aggressive pretty well in the previous game. I don't understand, is there something wrong with them right now? Because I don't see that same spark. I do not see that same, ganking and everything which is coming, and that Lunox is in a precarious position. I think that Ling will be trying to take her down, but no, they just... Oh my god, just look at that ED trying to dish out that damage even in the early game, and that Jawhead is again low in HP, but I think they should just retreat at this point as the next turtle is about to spawn.
Looking at the team compositions, Eliminators, ETS, they are going in and focusing more on the EXP lane, because then again the EXP lanes are the second tanks of the game. So if they are really well farmed and decent enough to dish out that damage, not only dish out the damage but also sustain all the damage that they are going to be receiving, that is going to be a true match coming in from a true EXP fighter as well. And look at that, I think Fanny is in trouble, but she uses her cables to escape, and I think Suzumi is in trouble, I'm not sure. And look at Mina, she barely escapes.
Well, absolutely, there was pretty good ganking coming again from the side of ET, and I think they're even trying to just look at the domination, and I even see that the bot lane has also been completely taken away, and just look at that Alice, she is too inside, but oh my god, I think she will be in a precarious position right there. But look at the damage coming from that Valentina. But I think she will successfully escape. And Jawhead trying to go inside the turret. Will that Lunox be taken down again? But no, instead that turret takes down that Jawhead. They just surviving in barely minimum 1 HP, Sebastian.
As I've said before, I think Lafu Kabi should have made the Lunox gone in the gold lane, because look at that. Lunox can barely survive against Valentina right now. The Alice as well, she's having trouble against Ruby, against Crisis, and looking at it before, you can see that he is a really good gold laner, and every gold lane hero he does master it. And look at that, I think the blue buff is also in trouble. Suzumi is in trouble, but he does use his ultimate to get away from all that CC. And look at that, the flicker coming in. Bid is going in to make sure that, I think he's trying to get the ultimate of Grok, but no, they will be barely escaping that. And Lunox using her light to get away from Art and Suzumi. I think the turtle will once again go to the Eliminators. What do you think about that gank, Asuya?
Well, that was a pretty good gank. At the same time, I see that Joy throwing that Arlott away. He is in precarious position, but he dives in again and getting all that lifesteal. But I think he will be taking down Valentina, but no, he just flickers away. Oh my god. And just look at that, Sebastian. Just look at the bot lane. 2 of the turrets are already down from the side of Lafu Kabi. And just look at that gold lead which is coming from the side of ET. They are literally dominating the entire map. They are taking all the neutral objectives, because I haven't seen that Fanny take even a single turtle at this point.
He's trying his best. Lycan is really trying his best to farm up here as well, so we can't really blame him here. But looking at the team, they really need to check out and rotate as much as they can. And look at that, Serar is just recalling on the ultimate and cabling coming in from Fanny in an attempt to kill him. But look at that, I think the top lane of Lafu Kabi is going down as well, and they do. Look at that, the rotations coming in from both the side laners is really wonderful to see here. And look at that, Art is trying to make sure that the Fanny does not get his buff once again. And the retribution going in. Fanny does get her purple, but look at that, I think the Lunox is in trouble once again. The ultimate coming in from Serar. Will he be able to come? I think Fanny is in trouble, and she does go down from Valentina. That second skill of hers is so painful. Seriously.
The synergy coming from ET is so beautiful to watch. Their ganks are so beautiful. Their rotation is so good. I am extremely loving, how that I am offended, and at the same time that Arlott is followed up by that damage from that Valentina. She is so fed. She is dealing so much damage, draining, almost more than half of the HP. Just look at that damage coming.
Wow. Look at the Ruby. She even the anti-heal isn't working on Ruby with the amount of gold she has, and the items as well. Look at that. They're just going in and turret diving right now. And look at that. Art barely saves Bit from the Fanny, but I think Fanny does not have the amount of damage needed to kill a hero. But I think, whoa, that is a beautiful ultimate coming in from Bid there. He stole Zozo's ultimate just so that she could be able to escape. And look at that. Look at Crisis. He's also poking in as well.
And at
Lafu
the same
Kabi
time,
is in trouble.
well, I did see that Jawhead throwing that Arlott away while he escapes in 1 HP, and I see they're trying to take that blue buff again from that Fanny, and yes, she will be denied. Oh my god, what a beautiful gameplay coming from the side of ET, because I am seeing that, Fanny either needs someone to lock down to her, or you just need to deny her blue buffs, and that's what ET is doing. And Fanny, she is trying to split push, because I think that's the only hope left for Lafu Kabi at this point. Don't you think so, Sebastian?
I agree with you, Asuya. Look at that. The Lord, the first Lord is slain even before 10 minutes is done. Look at that, Asriya. What do you think? I just need to know your opinion. What do you think about their domination right now from the ETS right now?
Well, absolute domination, and just as I mentioned before, because as I said, they're not able to do anything. That's how immaculate that teamwork of ET is. Just look at that Fanny. She is trying to split push, but I think she should just go back because she doesn't even have her blue buff and she doesn't have that damage. Just look at that Lapu Lapu, the amount of life steal he has. Even if Fanny is dealing
Mhm.
some damage, the HP just comes right back in.
Lafu Kabi are in trouble here, but they will be able to make a comeback here if they use that Lord efficiently, even though it is against them. And look at that, they're trying their best to defend it. The tower, but look at Art throwing in the Lunox to make sure that she does not dish out any damage. Suzumi going in with the ultimate because he is immune. And look at the Link going in and making sure that he is dishing out all that damage as well. The turret does go down and Suzumi does go down once again to Lycan. And look at the cables coming in, but she does not have enough energy. And I think Brendan is in trouble, but Crisis barely escapes the second skill of Alice, but I think she does go down to Bid and Crisis as well. They do not have minions to end the game, but look at that, they're trying to force their Fanny to come out, and I think this will be an easy win coming in again by Eliminators.
Well, absolutely. Just look at the entire map. There only one inhibitor turret remains, and they are struggling to defend their base. The Fanny doesn't have that blue buff. She is not able to dish out that damage because the core lead is so much at this point. The life
Mhm.
steal coming from Eliminators is absolutely a menace for that Fanny. Like if you pick a Fanny, your priority targets need to be the mages like that Lunox, but sorry, that Valentina, but she just heals back up before she can even do anything to her.
I agree with you. It's really painful to watch that Fanny has literally no damage from no farms at all. She does not even have her blue buff as well. Looking at Art, he's marking in on Zozo and forcing him to use his ultimate so that Serrar can go in with his Blade of Tempest. And look at that. And the I think Suzumi is going in with his ultimate and he's in trouble, but look at that sustain coming in from Suzumi. He will once again survive all of that damage. The Arlet is trying to go in, dish out as much damage as he can so that Fanny will be able to kill them. But look at Serrar, he's recalling on Lycan because he failed to kill Lycan as well. My gosh, look at that. That is total domination right there.
And I think this game too will be taken away by Eliminators. Just look at how they're just going down. That HP is draining down. And ladies and gentlemen, the victory goes to ET Eliminators. They have taken the second game as well. But don't worry, the third game, maybe we could see a comeback. See, just look at that absolute domination coming from the side of Eliminators. Just look at Serrar with that KD of 915 and 10.4, the way he was using his Tempest of Blades. And taking down the low HP was complete domination, especially, that heal coming on,
Mhm.
especially towards the end, like when he took down that Fanny, that was an iconic moment. And at the same time, I see how useful, that Valentina had been because the way she was dealing out so much damage was insane. So, Sebastian, what is your analysis of this game?
Personally, here I'd say Arts is the MVP here because he was baiting out not only Zozo but Brendan to dash out and Zozo to waste his light skill as well, leaving Serrar to just go in for the kills. So that is such wonderful roaming coming in from Art. My gosh. What do you think about that? Look at that, Serrar with the highest gold of 11,442 with a KDA of 915. Once again, he gets the MVP. He shows that he is the MVP of the match, not only controlling the jungling, but also making sure that he deals with the backline to guarantee his team the win. So, Hasuya, what are your thoughts?
Well, just as I said before, I really loved how that Ling was securing all the objectives, securing all the low
Hmm.
HP kills, and yes, he deserves that MVP.